Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the members of the committee for being able to hear my bill on the expansion of LGBT rights to the Elliot-Larsen Civil Rights Act. Today is a historic day. There are many people in this room and many people across the state that have been wanting to have their voice heard by this legislature, by the people who make rules and decisions, and today you are that face. You are the face of the state of Michigan. And today, as we have the opportunity to have this conversation, we will have the opportunity to also tell the state of Michigan, as well as the country, who we are, what we stand for, and what our values are. As we all know, the Michigan Civil Rights Act, the Elliot-Larsen Act, was put together in 1976. Part of the conversation that happened in 1976 was also about whether or not we should include sexual orientation. In 1976, the decision was made not to pursue that at that point in time because they didn't feel that that bill would be able to pass. And so, unfortunately, for close to 40 years, we've been waiting for an opportunity to take a look at this issue and make sure that those individuals in our state are protected. When I take a look at this issue, I come from a local government perspective. I'm the former mayor of the city of East Lansing, and one of the things that we always focused on was making sure that we were a place where we attracted talent, where we attracted the best minds to come to live, to work at the university, to work at our businesses. And the best way to do that is to make sure that you have a workforce that is welcomed from across the country, in our case because of our university, across the world, to our community. And to have that, you have to make sure that you are a welcoming community. We hear our governor often talk about being a welcoming state to immigrants and bringing people to this state to work and to make sure that their businesses are started here. That is the same concept that we are talking about here today. I have a belief, and it was a belief that I was brought on by my parents, that we should have the opportunity, no matter who we are, where we came from, to have an equal right to any opportunity that's here. I think many of you, probably as this issue came up this past year, many people weren't aware that you could be fired if you were gay or transgender. I've had conversations with many of you here and many of our colleagues in the full House that people did not know that. They already assumed that it was protected. We actually have, when you talk to your constituents, many of them already assume that those protections are already there. And unfortunately, that is not the case. And so I put forward a bill, and I was proud to have 51 co-sponsors. 51 out of the 110 of us co-sponsored this bill to send that message that this state is an open and welcoming state. I want to say that my bill is fairly simple. It really only does add 6 basic words to the Elliot-Larsen Act. It adds the words sexual orientation and gender identity or expression. These few words would take an opportunity for us to join other states and other communities across the country to show that we're welcoming and willing to protect people, whether it's their ability to work, whether it's their ability to find a place to live, or be able to use the public resources that are here in the state of Michigan. There are currently 19 states that have these protections already ensconced in their laws. There are 33 communities in the state of Michigan that have already done that. We're actually sitting in one of those, the city of Lansing. So we're actually all under a civil rights ordinance that is protecting the LGBT community here every day that we work in this state capitol. And as we will have a conversation over the next hour plus, we'll begin to hear things. And I just wanted to make sure I could touch on a few of those items for you. Oftentimes we're told that bills like this and protections like this potentially could be taking away somebody's First Amendment rights. And I will tell you that there is no state law, there is no local law that can ever supersede our U.S. Constitution. And in the U.S. Constitution, under the First Amendment, we protect religious freedom. This bill does not tell a church, a synagogue, or a temple what to do. It tells us as employers, it tells us as government officials, it tells us as local communities that we cannot discriminate. And that is what this bill is in its core essence. That's why in these 19 states, there's never been a court case that I'm aware of that they have successfully challenged and said this is an infringement on the rights of any individual. And that's why I see this as an opportunity for us to be able to move forward as the state of Michigan. I want to thank the chairman for our conversations over the many months because we've had, I think, a good opportunity to talk about this. I do believe that having a fully inclusive bill allows us to say something to the entire state. It says something to our communities, and it tells something to the entire country. Oftentimes people ask this question, why do we need to look at gender identity and gender expression? I just want to say a few items about that, and then I'll close my testimony and answer any questions that people might have. But I think if you take a look at what's happening in our communities, you take a look at any of the police reports, you take a look at items where we have seen discrimination, people who are transgendered in our state see a lot of discrimination. And because of that, we should have a bill that is fully inclusive because that allows us to protect all people. And when you remove one community out of the LGBT community out of this equation, then what we're saying is it's okay to discriminate against one section of our community. It's okay to deny them housing in one section of our community. It's okay not to provide the public services that businesses provide. And so that's why I came forward in the early part of the fall to present a bill that I believe is fully inclusive because guess what? We're in 2014. We're in a global economy. We are competing with other states, with other communities, and this is our opportunity to say to all workers across this country, all families in our state, that everyone is valued, everyone is welcome, and bring your businesses, bring your ideas here to the state of Michigan. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to present my bill today, and I look forward to any questions that the committee might have.